Hey, September 11th, 2022. Look what someone did for me. I think I know who did this, okay? They were out here last night when I went out, right, to go to the corner store, right? And I did that video with the military crew over there, getting ready to bust up more houses, and flood out more people out onto the streets so that we can die as we become homeless before that happens. Or we just die in our house, right? You know, business as usual. And look what they did. They were out here picking away, right? And I came and I said, oh, you know, just take what you want, right? It's okay. Have a good time. Enjoy yourself. And apparently they were just up by the shelter. They said they were staying at the shelter because there's no affordable housing, people. We have like a serious problem with organized religion in partnership with corrupt governments on different levels of municipality, federal and provincial governments, okay? Anyway, when I came back, I said, well, you know, I need help with the yard, right? Do you want to make a bit of money? And they said, sure, they'll come, right? So hopefully they'll come back today. And I think it's the same people that I was talking to last night that did this for me. Okay? Seriously, homeless people have more respect for me than people with money who own all the houses and all the assets and everything. It's like, right? That's what I'm saying. It's not homeless people coming into my yard stealing potatoes, okay? All right? Many of them, they know Sierra, they know Andre, right? They know what happened to SHAMAY, okay? So anyway, I think I know who did this. And like I said, I offered to give them $100 today. It's a couple, a man and a woman, you know, to start working in the yard, right? Because I said I would, right? And I can't do it by myself. Obviously, I can't even see anymore. So, you know, it's all par and parcel living in a house, right? So anyway, we'll see, right? And I'll put them to work for a couple of months here and there, right? They'll probably pick up $400, $500, $600 off of me over the next couple of months. And then my landlady can be happy in terms of getting, you know, the wood and just whatever. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this for a few minutes, okay? Before I start my day. All right. I kind of want to cry a little bit because I'm so happy. Happy that somebody actually cares, people. Cares, I take that as they care about my feelings. You know, they care about my feelings first before they care about that stuff. But obviously they care about that stuff enough to cover it up. And that tarp looks kind of like brand new. Like, where they got that tarp from, I don't know. And I don't even really know who did it. I'm only assuming it's the people that I was talking to last night. And I invited them to come back to, if they want, today, right? To start working in the yard. Because I've been in this house 12 years, people. This is not the first time I've hired, quote-unquote, homeless people to work in this yard, because they're basically homeless, right? They said they're staying at the shelter. Okay? What that means, I don't know. I'll find out. They told this to me after I got back. And I said, would you guys, it's a man and a woman, right? I said, would you be interested in maybe coming back tomorrow and, you know, working for, you know, I took out an extra $100 from the bank machine, right? I can pay you $100 tomorrow if you guys come back, the two of you, right? And start helping me in the yard, because, you know, the yard is oftentimes, in the past, used against me to flush me out of this house, okay? So every day I am in panic mode because I haven't been able, in part because of Amari, right? You know, and this is a big hurdle right now with my eyes. But a lot of it has to do with just looking after the kids, people, right? You know, it's cooking and feeding Amari and doing laundry. I mean, that takes up a lot of your time. He's not just your normal little boy that you change and he runs off and plays, and you know, you give him a sandwich and he sits and he eats it. No, 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 no. It's much more complicated than that. Anyway, they were like, oh yeah, that'd be great. Give us something to do. And I said, well, that's good because I really do need the help. And, you know, I kind of just gave them a rundown quickly of what I need, right? Like I'd like to start off in the hen house area. I let them know that Matilda was in there with the babies, the raccoons. So they threw everything around. Everything's all scattered in there. You know, a fence fell down, like a wall fence fell down. So, you know, the man will have to tack it up, and, you know, they can gut it out and just reorganize it and start taking the miscellaneous wood from along the side of the house that we're not going to use and get it out of the elements. You know, just whatever. And like the rabbit hutch roof needs to be replaced, right? That won't happen tomorrow, but they can plan for that. It's easy. Just pull back that vinyl, take off the rotten plywood, right? Use what I have, put a piece of plastic over it, run the vinyl back over it, and it's done. Reinforce a few beams, and it's done, right? Right? That's right. And then there's a couple of things in the back that, like garden beds, that need to be reinforced. So before they put the wood away, they can just box them off, hammer a few nails, screw whatever, just you know, whatever. My greenhouse needs plastic over the roof again. It's too hard for me, people. The X Club, they can get into the X Club and just, you know, put up the plastic for me, right? It's right. And then the miscellaneous vinyl that I've got, you know, I said I just want to use what I can in terms of running some vinyl along some of these compost boxes or wherever, just to make it look nicer in the yard. Not that it means anything, people, because everybody's just drooling at the bit, ready to tear down this property to build in another empty building. Do you understand? Just to build in another empty building. That one over there sits in the dark with no lights. This one over here is probably empty too, but they blare the lights. It's like a subliminal message. It's like witchcraft. They got a dark building over here that's been dark ever since it's been built, for the most part. And then they got the building over here that every freaking light in the building is on. So from light to dark. It's weird. Okay? I know nobody lives in that building. And if there are, it's just one or two. And it's just to maybe the maintenance crew. Okay? While people are being forced into shelters or just basically onto the street. Okay? So, you know, just we'll figure out where we want to put the vinyl, how much we want to use. They can put it up. It's nothing hard, it's nothing fancy. It will make the place look nicer while it's here. Right? I won't be a heat score for the predators in the community to hold the yard against me, as if it's been my responsibility all these years, to which it has been, which costed me money, 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 money. This is what I mean by household debt. This is in part of household debt, because if I don't get a handle on what I need to get a handle on, I'm a sitting duck. So, you know, and I do. I want it done. And I wish I had the energy to do it, but after 12 years, I'm burnt out. Okay? And it's affected my health. So much so that I can barely see now. So, anyway, I'll pay them $100 today if they show up. they can start. We'll see where we're at. I can probably swing them another 100 tomorrow or the next day. These are homeless people, okay? They're going to, trust me, they're going to appreciate this little bit of money. Okay? It just can't, it was God sent for them. All right? They didn't ask for it. You know, they knock on my door, do you have a job? Can you spare some change? You know, it just happened. So I can swing another $100 tomorrow or the next day if they want to continue to work. I mean, don't get me wrong. I could spend this on a bill, easy peasy, or whatever. But you know, I have to keep my priorities in order, and the priority is I only got a couple months left to get this yard straightened out. So I'm very grateful that I'm pretty sure they'll come back. And even more so if it was them that did that tarp, okay? Because I never asked them to do that, okay? So, but that just shows you the mentality of basically the homeless people who are used and abused, targeted, lured to their deaths out here, who are being murdered with no justice. Where their hearts are at, okay? Okay? It's important to understand that. And remember that just because the uppity ups in the community want to throw their stones and mistreat us doesn't mean that they're justified to do it. Okay? Because the people that I was talking to last night are no different than me in terms of how we're being treated. Because it's just a matter of time before I'm going to be at the shelter, people, at the rate that we're going in this province. If I'm not going to end up dead. Okay? And then my organs being harvested. You don't have to watch these videos on my channel if you don't want to. I'm not asking you to. But I'm not making no apologies for criminals. Okay? I'm not going to smooth it over for criminals. I'm not going to smooth it over for organized religion that participates in organized crime. Because they're not the first religion to do this. And it's an infestation. Okay? And it's destroying tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of lives. Okay? It's like cancer. Right? Cancer that never goes away. It just gets worse. Okay? Because of the mentality that somehow money brings ethics, to which it's the opposite. Literally, it's the freaking opposite. Okay? I'm talking big money. I'm not talking little money. Okay? Do a good day's work, you get paid for it. Okay? But when you're destroying people's lives, their children, the elderly within the household, the babies, okay, that's a whole different freaking ball game. Alright? But at the end of the day, if I don't keep up with this yard, we know that the predator class is going to use it against me, even though they're plotting and scheming, just waiting to tear it fucking down and rip it all up, throw out this, throw out that, trash this, trash that, call it garbage, right? Destroy the trees, kill off the animals, right? You know what I mean? Exploit the children, right? Just murder the elderly, whatever it is that they do, because they do all kinds of crazy crap. Just so that they can sit up in their fucking monster houses and brag people among themselves first, and then to everybody else. Okay? Because let's just say, well, I do have a foundation, but it means nothing around the predator class, because the predator class doesn't care, right? So in other words, if I wanted to go out and rent a house to help people up by the shelter so that they could get some form of housing, like I did at that little house over there before the mutiny occurred, okay? there's no hope in hell. You're not going to get no house to rent. And if you do, it's going to be something listed for demolition within 8 months down the line, so they can build another monster house or another freaking condo building or whatever it is. But before they even rent it to someone like me to have other people move in that need it the most, they're going to bring in their underground military with their freaking dump trucks, this truck, that truck, their demolition trucks. Do you understand what you seen last night? Those are demolition trucks. They go into houses and they demolition them from the inside out. They raise the, well, you know, they don't demolition first from the inside. Well, yeah, they go in, they throw everybody's shit out into the fucking road. That's what they do first. They throw everybody's stuff out into the road, or they throw it into a bin. Then they throw it off to God knows where they take it to. Then they go inside and they do a little of this and they do a little of that, and then they overinflate the rents, and then they have poor people move in basically to pay out of their nose just so they can have a roof over their head until it's time to kick them out and tear down the house. That's the cycle out here. Those guys over there, they own that house, that house, that house. God knows whatever other houses they own out here as they're doing what I just told you. That is an underground military. Okay? 10 of them. All guys. With their big ass fucking trucks. Going from house to house to house. As they're purchasing those houses. Between themselves. Okay? And they don't care where we go. Because they think we're trash and we have no morals. That we have no ethics. That we have no worth. That we're all this and that and God knows what that they like to point their fingers at. Well, you just seen for yourself. Okay, they don't know what they're talking about. Does that mean that everybody that's living on the fringe is, I guess you could say trustworthy? Well, no. But then those ones living in their houses, they're not trustworthy either. Like I told you, 70% of the population steals to one degree or another. That's what the foundation taught me all these years. It doesn't matter if you're the poorest of the poor or the richest of the rich. If anything, the rich are the worst. The ones with the money are the worst because they never have enough. Never ever do they ever have enough. Anyway. I'm a little... I don't know, hypersensitive isn't the word for it. It's worse than being hypersensitive because I'm so close to facing homelessness myself, people. I've been saying it for years, okay? And when I look around me and I see what's going on and I see who's moving into the neighborhood and I see how people like myself in terms of that below a certain income level are being treated ultimately at the end of the day, okay? I know that I'm at equal step with those people at the shelter. All right? Okay? Because there are no escape routes in British Columbia, Canada, except perhaps death. And even in death, they're doing crazy shit, like they did with Sierra. Okay? Behind that closed door. All right? Torturing her. Right? And then what? You have your little funeral, right? And you can't carry the casket because you might contaminate it with COVID. You can't throw dirt onto the casket because you might contaminate the dirt. Like, this is coming from the city, okay? Well, what kind of bullshit is that? No, what they did is they put that casket into a tomb, lowered it down. It was a cement tomb that probably had a back door deep in the ground that after they put their cement lid on top, they went in underneath the ground, opened up their freaking door, went in there and took out what they wanted if they hadn't already taken it and put in an empty casket. I don't believe Sierra's body was in that casket. And if it was robbed. After the fact. Call me crazy. I don't care. Okay? But I'm not crazy. Because if that was not true, they would have let us carry the casket, but they didn't. Because they were hiding something. They didn't want us to feel the weight of the casket. They didn't want us to get a feel for what was inside of it. Okay? Because they use bodies out here to make money. So, everybody's in danger. I told those people last night, you be careful. Because you're being targeted. You're not safe. Right? Be careful to not get lured to your death like Sierra. You can't ask these property developers, these property owners to help you, because they are the ones that are doing it, people. They wire up their houses with their spyware, with their energy weapons, with their microwave crap. They don't fix the houses. They expect you to live in squalor, right? They want you to be angry. They want you to fight. They want you depressed, because then it's easier to get rid of you or harvest you when the time comes. Okay? So I'm paying for that. I'm paying for my own death. Because at the end of the day, I will never get a freaking thank you from my landlord for this. Okay? Oh yeah, after it's all said and done, she'll come by and she'll say, oh yeah, it's nice, it's much nicer, thank you. I'll be like, thanks, yeah, I appreciate that. $700-800 later, not including what I spent in the last 12 years. And I'll just be kicked out. Just kicked out sooner or later, because she's going to just sell the problem to somebody else. And I'm not going to be able to afford $4,000 for a dump, to have that same process happen all over again when the military crew, underground military crew, moves into that neighborhood. Do you see how it works? Because once they're done doing what they're doing out here with all these houses, they're just going to take their trucks and go to another freaking neighborhood and start the process all over again. Because they're so ethical and hardworking. Okay? As they accuse homeless people of being the problem. As they accuse people like me of being the problem, in terms of, I can't keep up with their greed. Okay, in terms of, gimme, 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 gimme. I want $5,000 for this hole. Gimme, 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 gimme. I'm not fixing nothing. No. Because they're just going to tear down the house anyway. It's up for property development. Yep. So, therefore, why should I fix anything? You don't like it, you can move. Yep. And this is what they teach their kids and their grandkids. And then when you go see them in a medical sense, in terms of go have a baby, what do? They just injured the babies because they know it's just a matter of time before they can harvest them after the fact. In terms of Amari's life cycle is only 45 years. And that's on a good note. He might get a few more depending on the quality of care. But Judge Ross, what did he do? He made sure that Amari will always be at the mercy of the public union sector, who just doesn't really care. Because at the end of the day, there's the shelter. You can't afford anything, go to the shelter. But don't worry, we'll put Amari into foster care, and then we'll just hook him up into another research study, because we can, right? And because you're not around, and you can't fight for him, you'll never really know, because at the end of the day, when he's dead, poof, he's gone, and nothing moves except him, right? Same thing with SHAMAY, right? You got this man with, you know, he's a guru with his big turban on. Yep. And he's a doctor. He's a doctor. A doctor that likes to dote over dead bodies and fool the family. Yeah. And the government wants to protect that, just like they want to protect Eleanor Gilding. So that she can go around injecting people with God knows what. So they can go mad over a period of time as they build in their 5G Wi-Fi towers, right? Just flick on the switch and everybody just, right? Yeah. We know how it goes, people. We know how it goes. Well, the underground military get their saline solutions. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I don't know. I'm going to probably be bitching on about this for a little while. Okay? Because when you're backed into a corner, like I am, I should be saving this money to move in a year or two from now. Until the last minute. But I can't. Because if I don't spend the money, it won't get done what needs to be done, and they'll hold it against me. And then we'll be into my old videos where, you know, I got that whip on my back, okay? And nobody's going to show me no fucking mercy, because there is no mercy in British Columbia, Canada, except for maybe from the homeless people. Okay, that's mercy. That, what you seen there with that tarp, how about we leave it on that? That is mercy. Okay, didn't ask for it, didn't expect it. It was done out of the kindness of their heart, people, because they respected my situation with what's been going on with my family, with the murder of my children, with the injury of my grandson, with the medical kidnapping of my loved ones, okay, with the fuckery, with that cortisol going on in the brain, with my remaining children that are going slowly but surely mad, because at the end of the day, somebody's got them booked in from freaking for surgery. And they showed me mercy. Where the ones driving by with the money are saying, get rid of the junk, get rid of the junk. Just while you're doing that, get rid of more. Get rid of it all. Get rid of it all. And then after you get rid of it all, just step out onto the streets and disappear into the abyss.